So it's just on me. Okay, perfect. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we're live? I think so. Okay, hi. All right, so I'm trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to ask you guys or tell you before we get started. But we are going to start in a comfortable seated position. And if it is comfortable for you, I'm going to recommend that you sit on your heels. And you can do that if you want a little pain to start your practice. You can tuck your toes and take broken toe. And you know that you can always come out of that and bring your hips down whenever you're ready to. You can also sit cross-legged or whatever is comfortable for you, and whatever seat allows for you to be sitting on your sitting bones and not on the back of your pelvis so that your spine is rounded. So you're sitting up really tall. And then go ahead and just close your eyes so that you are blocking out any external distractions, anything around you, so that you can start to become more aware of yourself. For those of you who are at home, count yourself lucky because we are obviously practicing in the studio with our masks on. And this becomes part of the practice. And it was a hard thing for me to get used to as a teacher and as a practitioner. But it's something that you get to work with where it could become uncomfortable. But you have the ability and the power to let it have less weight. And so when your mind starts to wander or you start to feel tense, just slow down your breath. So if there's only one thing you focus on today, just breathing very slowly and very deeply throughout the entire practice, especially when things become tough in your mind or in your body. And so as you inhale, as slow as you can, start to fill your lungs to a fuller capacity. And feel the whole entire rib cage expand. And then as you exhale slowly, even slower than the inhale, exhale all of the air out of your lungs and pause at the bottom. And on your inhale, allow, again, the whole body. So think about a three-dimensional expansion through the sides, through the front, through the back. And as you exhale slowly, sit up taller, empty out, and start to engage your core muscles. And just keep breathing like that. So your core muscles being the muscles closest to your bones, the deepest layers. And so as you're engaging those muscles, remember that you want to do it in a way that you're not clenching up your body. You're just engaging and drawing inward and creating support. Breathe in, the shoulders rise up. And breathe out, the shoulders relax down. And now bring your hands down by your sides. And so again, if you need to reposition yourself so that you're comfortable in your seat, go ahead and do so. And on your next inhale, stretch your arms out and up over your head. And look up and bring your hands behind your head and interlace your fingers together. And open up your elbows really wide and push your chest up to the ceiling. And what I want you to feel here is not only are you opening up through the front of your body, you're engaging the muscles in the back of your body. And now move the opposite way on an exhale. Bring your elbows in, tuck your chin, round your spine, empty out. And on your inhale, sit up tall again. Open the elbows wide, lift the chest up to the sky, and exhale, round forward. And do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, stretch your arms up over your head again. And as you exhale, bend over to the left and bring your left hand down to the floor beside you. Stretch your right arm over your ear. Push your right hip down into the ground and feel that nice big stretch on the right side of your body. So breathe into the right side. And then inhale to come back up. And do that on the other side. So right hand comes down to the ground. Stretch your left arm over. Inhale, you expand your breath into the left side of your body, the left side of your lungs especially. Inhale and stretch your arms up. And now bring your left hand back out to the left and grab onto the left side of your head with your right hand. Now make sure that your chin is tucked slightly and really don't yank on your head, of course, but just give it a gentle assist as you bring your ear towards your shoulder. And you can bring your left arm behind your back here as well. And now bring your head down so that you're kind of bringing your chin down towards your right shoulder, the right side of your chest a little bit more. And then release and bring your arms up over your head. And now left ear to left shoulder. Stretch out through your right arm. Chin is tucked slightly. Bring your right arm behind your back if you would like, and bring your chin towards your left shoulder. Keep breathing. Inhale and reach it. And as you exhale, come forward to your hands and your knees. And if it feels good, you can tap out your feet a little bit. And really push down through your hands. So spread out your fingers and broaden through your upper back. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, go back, tuck your toes again, and go back into pranam, or what is a child's pose with your toes tucked underneath. And now begin to really engage your arms. So push down into your hands and lift your elbows up away from the mat. Keep lifting your elbows up away from the mat, but place your palms flat. So palms flat, elbows up. Elbows up. Good. Now engage. So I want you to imagine you're trying to rip your mat in half with your hands and kind of pull out a little bit and feel like you're pushing the tops of your shoulder blades apart, but you're bringing the bottoms of the tips together. And now keeping that strength and stability in the arms and in the shoulders, I want you to just push off from your toes and come forward to a plank position. And then as you exhale, softly bring the knees down and go back into your child's pose. And we'll do that a couple of times with the breath. So on your inhale, lift the knees up, send the shoulders forward. And as you exhale. Now you can do this with the knees down for your plank. So keep going. Inhale, come forward to plank with the knees down or not. And then exhale and go back into your child's pose. This time come forward to plank and hold your plank position, either from your knees or from your toes. So check in again with that placement of the shoulder blades. I want you to push the tops of your shoulder blades apart. So Megan, push your shoulder blades apart more at the top. Nice. And then bring the bottom tips together. And now stay in your plank, but bring your forearms down to the mat so that you're in a plank on your elbows. And keep breathing. Remember, always come back to that. Inhale, fill your lungs. Exhale, empty your lungs. Nice. Can you relax in this posture, but stay strong? Good. And then lower down into Sphinx pose. So bring your elbows out in front of you more, so that you're really propping yourself up and come up a little bit higher. And then push down through the tops of your feet and stretch your legs back. So lift the kneecaps up away from the mat. And now actively pull your chest through your arms. So you feel like you're kind of pulling yourself apart here, creating that traction. Use your back muscles to lift your chest up more. Now you can keep your gaze up, you can keep your head up, or you can bring your chin down towards your chest. And maybe rock your head a little bit from side to side. On an exhale, come all the way down onto your belly. And place your hands in line with your chest. Hug your elbows in. Press your elbows down towards your heels. Tuck your toes. Now we're going to push up. So you can push up through all fours or through plank or modified plank. So stable shoulders. Exhale, push yourself up. And then go back into a downward facing dog pose. That was Piggy. If you guys haven't met Piggy before, not Addie, because I have many videos of Addie, my dog, coming in. She always likes to lick my face in Shavasana the minute I get down into that posture. It's awesome. All right. So on your inhale, come up high on your toes. And as you exhale, press down toward your heels. Inhale, come up high on your toes. And exhale down to the heels. This time, inhale high to the toes. Bend your knees for a hovering tabletop. So your knees are hovering a few inches above the mat. The spine is long and stable and strong. Shoulders broad. Bring your knees down onto the mat. On your inhale, stretch your right arm up, twist to the right. And as you exhale, thread the needle. Reach your arm all the way through and settle down onto your right shoulder. And just begin to slow your breath down again. Breathe into your right shoulder. Now from here, take your left leg and stretch it back behind you. With your toes on the mat, I want you to pull your belly up and in, and then just lift your left leg up and breathe. So you've got that left hand beside you to assist a little bit here. We're going to keep your leg up, unravel, and reach your right arm forward. So reach and stretch as long as you can through your left leg and your right arm. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to bend the knee to the left and we're going to bend the arm to the right. And try not to collapse into your right hip or your left shoulder. Inhale, reach long. Exhale and take it to the side. Inhale. And last time, exhale. On your inhale, reach. Now bend your left knee. Keep breathing, reach back. And you can either just reach for the foot. You can begin to lift your chest and your gaze up. You can grab onto the foot and kick. Keep breathing. Stay in your body. And release arm and leg, hands and knees, child's pose. And just slow down your breath. Good. On your inhale, come up to your hands and your knees. Good. And this time, twist to the left, reach your left arm up to the sky. And as you exhale, thread the needle. Reach the right arm all the way through and underneath. Try not to think about what's coming next. It's so easy when we come to the second side, right? So just focus on where you are. Use your breath to explore the pose. And then stretch your right leg back behind you. So pause for a minute to work on stabilizing before you lift the leg up. Pull the belly in. Lift the leg up when you're ready. Remember, keep breathing. We're going to push into the right hand and unthread and reach the left arm through. And get really long. So now we're thinking about left hip stable, right shoulder stable. Inhale. Exhale, arm bends to the left and leg bends to the right. And come back, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. So just moving with your own breath. Exhale. Inhale, reach long. Bend your knee and reach back. And maybe you actually grab onto the foot. Remember, make sure it feels good in your body. You're able to breathe. You're strong, but you're relaxed. Gently release. And come back to all fours. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, downward facing dog pose. So really stretch out through your arms here. Bend your knees as much as you need to get a straighter spine. Reach your sitting bones up and back. Reach the crown of your head towards your thumbs. Once again, imagine you're pushing the tops of your shoulder blades apart, and you're bringing the bottom tips of your shoulder blades closer together. Good. On your inhale, lift your right leg up and reach it back behind you. And now as you exhale, open up your hips. So stack your right hip on top of your left hip. And you can certainly bend your knee if that feels good. You can move the ankle, move the foot at the ankle. Keep stretching out through your arms, stable in the shoulders. Now re-extend your right leg back behind you and take your knee towards your left arm. So you might just point it in that direction. You might actually touch the arm. Inhale, stretch your leg back. And this time we're going to step through. So do it slow. Lift your back heel, round through your spine, step your foot through. You can always use your right hand to help you bring that leg up. Bring your back knee down onto the mat. Now before you come up, put your hands down to frame your foot and push down into your hands and pull your belly up away from your thigh and then rise up into your low lunge. So hips stable by the action of hugging the hips inward. Start to lift your chest up more and maybe send your hips a little more forward. Keep reaching up and stretching. Now tuck your back toes. We're going to slowly start to send the hips, push into your right foot, send your hips back a little bit and stretch your arms back behind you. Maybe flex your right foot and pick up the toes. On your next inhale, come back into your low lunge. We're going to move with the breath a few times. Exhale, hips go back. Arms reach back. Again, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, reach up. This time, bring your hands down onto the mat. Plant your hands, pick up your back knee. Step back to plank. And we're going to roll over onto our left side for Vashisthasana or side plank. So you can always bring your left knee down first and roll over and start there. Take your left shoulder back and down. Lift up out of your shoulder. Lift up out of your hip. Maybe straighten the legs. I think this is our only side plank, so do whatever you want to do in this posture and just keep breathing, experiencing the pose. Nice. Good. And come back to down dog. And from your down dog, I want you to walk your feet in a little bit so you've got a shorter stance. Reach over with your left hand and grab onto your right leg. And now give that leg a gentle pull and twist and look under your right arm. Breathe. Right shoulder stable and strong. Good. Downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. We're going to take one vinyasa together, and you have opportunities to take more. So we're going to inhale, shift the weight forward just slightly. From your knees or from your toes, slowly exhale, shoulders stable all the way down. And then inhale to a back bend that feels good in your body. An up dog, a cobra, another sphinx. And there's no rush, but when you're ready, lead with your belly. So lift your belly up away from the ground first and stretch your hips back and breathe. And slow everything down. So you feel, when you're in your down dog, you feel your body rising and falling. Rising and falling. Good. On your next inhale, stretch your left leg back behind you. And now stack your left hip on top of your right. And again, you might bend your knee or move your foot around. On an inhale, square the hips again. And on your exhale, point your knee towards your right elbow as much as you want. And then stretch your leg back. Inhale. Come up high on the back toes. Curl in. Pull your knee in close to your chest. Step between your hands. Bring your back knee down. So stabilize yourself and then come on up when you're ready. So especially when we start to move back and forth here, it feels a little shaky because we're not using the hands. So again, hug your outer hips in, hug your inner thighs in, and now if you want, send your hips forward a little more and lift your chest up to the sky. You can tuck your back toes. And now push into your left foot and send your hips back, stretch back. So you don't have to go back super far. You don't have to bow down very far. Inhale, come forward, lift the arms up. Exhale, hips go back, reach back. Remember, move with your own breath. Inhale. And exhale back. This time, arms up. And send your arms forward and plant your hands. Step back into a plank. And this time, we'll roll over onto the right side for Vashisthasana, side plank pose. Lift your hips high. Stay out of your right shoulder. Do whatever you want to do here. Keep breathing. And now come back to your down dog first. Reach over with your right hand and take a hold of the outside of your left leg for a twist. Come back to down dog. And now you get to choose. You can stay in down dog. You can take a child's pose. You can take a vinyasa. You can hold a plank. Whatever you end up doing, don't let it take you away from your practice. And then in the next couple breaths, if you're not there already, make your way back to downward facing dog. Lift your heels, look up at your hands, bend your knees and either step or walk, tiptoe, or jump to the top of your mat. When you get there, halfway lift. Straighten your spine. Push your hands into your legs, reach to the crown of your head. Exhale, forward fold. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift, fill your lungs. Exhale, fold. Navel to spine, empty out, let your weight shift forward. Inhale. And last time, exhale. Now hold the exhale out, and with strong legs, come all the way up to standing. So you can roll up, you can come over the straight back, arms overhead, hands come down to your heart center, Tadasana, mountain pose, breathe. Let's step the feet out a little bit wider so your toes might be off the mat. So you're going to turn your knees and your toes out just a little bit. And on your inhale, take the arms overhead. And now as you exhale, take your hands down through heart center, bend your knees, and come down into a squat. So go as low as it's comfortable for your knees. You might come all the way down into Malasana or not. Now, put your hands or your fingertips out in front of you. Shift your weight forward slightly and straighten your legs. Inhale. I know it's a little backwards. Exhale, squat back down, sit back down. Now hold empty, and with strong legs, come all the way back up. Inhale. And bring your hands to your heart. And we'll do that a couple times with the breath. On your inhale, arms overhead. Hands come down through heart center, squat. Inhale, straighten the knees, fold forward. And exhale, bend the knees, squat down. Hold empty, come up to standing. Inhale, arms overhead. Hands to heart. And do that again. Inhale. Exhale, squat. Inhale, straighten the knees. And exhale, squat. And stay here this time. So I invite you, if you want to stay here, you can bow your head, you can close your eyes, or if you want to play with crow pose, this is a great place to practice it. So start even before you put your hands down to push your arms back against your legs and to kind of squeeze your legs back against your arms. So I'm in crow pose basically right now, sort of turned in a different position. So I'm going to put my hands down now. I'm going to lift my hips up higher and just place my knees on the backs of the arms. And so this is another great place to stay and just to work on pushing the arms back into the legs into the arms. And that's going to create core engagement. And then you can practice, just shift your weight forward and pick up one foot, the other foot, and then you can also practice both feet. If you're really good at crow, if it seems not so challenging, you can try straightening your arms more. Keep breathing. Now from here, eventually we are going back into down dog. If you want, you can take a vinyasa. If you're jumping back, make sure you jump back to chaturanga. So you don't jump back to plank, you jump back so that you're halfway down or almost all the way down. And then inhale to your back bend. Otherwise, you're stepping back to plank or down dog. Taking a child's pose again. As you come back into your down dog, slow down your breath. Rise and fall. On your inhale, lift your right leg up. And as you exhale, point your knee at your right arm this time. Maybe it touches, maybe not. Just like that crow pose. Inhale, stretch back. And now step through between your hands. Okay, so again, stabilize. This time we're going to keep the back knee lifted. Stabilize first and then come up into your high lunge when you're ready. Just take a couple breaths to, explore the pose, to feel the strength in the legs, to feel the lift of the chest, reach up through the arms. Keep breathing. On your next exhale, runner's lunge. So you're going to lean forward and stretch your arms back behind you. Shoulders back, chest open. On your inhale, sweep your arms forward and up. And on your exhale, back to your runner's lunge. Inhale, arms up. Come into your runner's lunge and hold it. Now, very slowly, don't push off your back foot and use momentum. Just slowly shift your weight into your right leg and float that left leg up away from the floor. Hug your outer right hip inward. Breathe. Good. Softly step back. Sweep your arms up over your head. And as you exhale, open up into warrior two pose now. So your right knee is bent, left leg straight. On your inhale, reverse your warrior. And on your exhale, now listen, shift your weight forward over your right leg and just float your left leg up. Just for a breath. Come all the way back to warrior two. So what I'm going to ask you to do is just to kind of rock back and forth with your breath here. You might not come into the perfect half moon. You're just practicing rocking back and forth and lifting up that back foot. And then eventually find your way to holding in your half moon. So we don't, Megan, you can use your blocks. I don't have a block, but if you have a block, you can use it. You can put your hand down on the ground or hover it. You can bend your left knee, reach back and see if you can find your foot, or just reach for it. Keep breathing, and then step back to warrior two. Nice. Now from warrior two, turn your left heel in and come into goddess pose. So knees and toes turned out, shoulders down the back. Slow, steady breath. Good. Now on your inhale, straighten your legs, reach the arms up over your head. And as you exhale, cross your hands behind your head, bend the knees again, and push out really strongly through your palms, like you're trying to push two really heavy things apart. Inhale, straighten the legs. And exhale, push. Inhale. And this time, hold it out here. Push. Okay, so lift up your heels. Now, left heel is going to spin out and press that foot flat. Put your right heel down, and now come into side angle pose. Breathe. Stretch your left arm across your body, over your ear, so you're creating this long straight line through that whole left side body. Twist your spine, look up underneath your arm. Now exhale, bring your left hand down, pick up your back heel, spin it up. Put your right hand on your sacrum, or the back of your hips. Gently bring your left knee down to the mat. Now go ahead and take your left hand out further to the left. Put your right hand on your right thigh and begin to twist to the right. Let your left hip drop down. Push your right thigh away from your body. Look back over your right shoulder. And you might bend your left knee and reach back and find your foot as well for this. Steady, slow breath. And gently let go of your foot and come back to your low lunge. Tuck your back toes, and we'll go back into that half split, this time with assistance from your hands. And you can go into a full split here if you really want to. Just be very careful of your hamstrings. So easy to overstretch the hamstring. So keep muscular action in your leg by pulling your right heel back towards your body. And now come back to your lunge. Plant your hands, tuck your back toes, stretch your right leg all the way back to a three-legged downward facing dog. And now stack your hips again. So stack your right hip on top of your left hip. So stay here if you want. You can also flip your dog over. If you're doing this, be very mindful of your left shoulder. So as you're flipping, you bend the right knee, you lift the left heel and bend the right knee too, and then place the foot on the ground behind you And then lift up your hips using your back strength. Lift up and out of your left shoulder and breathe. Bring your right hand down. Extend your right leg back behind you one more time. And now come into pigeon pose. And we're going to stay upward. Rather than walking forward and folding, we're going to stay up. So you can always put a block under your right hip if you want, or a blanket. And what I want you to do is to tuck your back toes, lift the knee, and scoot the leg back and scoot the hip back. And just keep kind of working that so that you're really extending your back leg out behind you. And put your right hand on your right thigh. You can put your left hand on your foot and push down into your leg and lift your chest up to the sky. Breathe. Good. Now shift your weight towards your right hip. We're going to swing the left leg all the way around for a seated spinal twist. So place your left foot outside the right knee. How you guys doing? Having fun? Now, bring your left hand behind you. Reach your right arm up to the sky. Take a nice big breath in. And as you exhale, twist to the left. And you can hook your arm across that thigh. And as you're in this posture, I want you to be kind of moving with your breath where you inhale and you extend and you sit up taller. And then you exhale, you empty, empty, empty all of the air out, and then maybe you twist a little bit deeper. So it can be really subtle. It should be really subtle changes with each breath, creating more space, more twist, more awareness. And then release your twist, and we'll do a little bit of core work. So I want you to bring your hands back behind you and lift your legs up, but left ankle stays crossed over right ankle. So we're kind of in a cross-legged boat. This is one of my signature moves here because you guys love it, I know. Now on your inhale, sit up tall and kind of draw the knees in a little bit closer. And as you exhale, lean back, stretch your legs forward, and try to pry your legs apart, and only go as low as you can maintain stability in your spine, especially your low back. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, woo, it's raining. Coming down. Inhale, I forgot my raincoat. I'm on my bike. Exhale. Luckily, I don't live far. Inhale, I know. Exhale, hold it. Maybe release your arms and stretch your fingers towards your toes. Breathe, shake. And now bring the knees in. And find your way all the way forward. And you can take a vinyasa if you're feeling it. You can grab a drink of water. You can take a child's pose. And we'll eventually meet back up in our down dog. And just slow everything down. On your next inhale, reach your left leg back behind you. And as you exhale, come forward and point your knee towards your left arm. Inhale, stretch back. Exhale, high to the back toes, step between your hands. Now stay down there for a minute, square the hips, strong legs, stable hips. When they are, come on up into your high lunge. Take a few breaths, just slow down. Inhale, you feel that expansion, that lift. As you exhale, root down through your feet. Feel your foundation. Feel your inner strength. Now on your exhale, runner's lunge. Lean forward as much as you want and stretch your arms back behind you, shoulders back and chest open. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale to your runner's lunge. Do that again. Inhale. Exhale to your runner's lunge. Hold here. And now very slowly begin to shift your weight and find your way into a balance. So lift that leg up. This is my weaker side. I have some issues with my left hip. So, maybe you keep the toes down on the mat if that's better, just slightly. Hug that outer left hip in. And let's softly step back into our high lunge. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, open up for warrior two pose. So this time your left knee is bent. Back leg straight. Open up through the shoulders and the chest. Slow the breath down. Turn your left palm up to the ceiling. Reverse your warrior. So remember, especially on this first one, as you're coming into your half moon, you're going to go slow. You might scoot that back foot in. You might not even pick the foot up very far away from the ground. Hug your outer left hip in. And then softly, that wasn't so soft, go back to warrior two. As you exhale, half moon. Again, just think of it as rocking back and forth, dancing with your breath. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And exhale to your half moon. And I'm going to hold this one here. If you want to do another round, that's fine. You can even keep doing that rather than holding. So if you want, you can bend your right knee. Breathe, reach back, maybe find your foot. Softly step back to your warrior two. Goddess pose. Good. And just as we did before, inhale, straighten your legs, reach your arms up. And as you exhale, push the palms out. Inhale, straighten the legs, reach the arms up, cross the hands behind the head. Exhale, push it out. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Hold this one. And now we do our fancy footwork. So lift your heels. Breathe. Now spin your right heel out and place your foot down. Bring your left heel down. Bring your left forearm to your thigh and stretch your right arm over your ear so that you are now magically in side angle. And you might need to readjust some stuff. So my knee and toes were kind of turned in a little bit for that goddess pose. You might readjust that. Twist your spine. Reach across the whole right side of the body. And now exhale, spin that back heel up as you bring your right hand down onto the mat or maybe a block. Left hand goes to the back of the hips. I'm going to go ahead and start walking my left foot over already just to have that space. Bring your right hand out to the right more. And now begin to lower that right hip and twist and look back over your left shoulder. And maybe bend your right knee and find your foot. Breathe in, breathe out. Oh, that's pretty good. You have 102 Patreon subscribers. That's awesome. Release your foot. And we're going to sit back towards the right heel for that Ardha Hanumanasana, the half split, or of course the full split. Keep your left knee bent. Pull back with your heel and bow forward over your leg. Come back to your lunge. And we're going to plant the hands. And stretch your left leg straight back into a three-legged dog. Open up your hip, stack your left hip on top of your right. Stay here, or bend the knee, or bend both knees and take that left foot to the floor. Behind you, lift up and out of your right shoulder. Do this posture very slowly and very, very careful with that right shoulder. Lift up and out, right shoulder back and down. And now bring your left hand back to the mat. Stretch your leg back behind you one more time. And we'll come through into pigeon pose. So bring that leg through. And maybe put, again, a blanket or bolster or a block under your left hip. We're going to keep scooting. So I kind of stay leaning forward as I walk that leg back, 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 back. And then start to walk your hands back. And if you do that when you walk your hands back, if you feel a pinch in your low back, pull your belly back and in a little bit more. And lift up through the chest. Back leg is strong. You're pushing down through the top of that back foot. And now let your left hip drop and swing your right leg around. And we'll set up for that seated spinal twist. Right knee crossed. Bring your right hand behind you. You can always sit up on a block or a blanket here too. Inhale. You want to make sure you're on those sitting bones. Reach up to the left arm. Exhale, twist to the right. And remember, inhale, you extend, you sit up taller. You exhale, you empty out. You might twist a little bit deeper. Piggy's doing up dog, down dog for Megan. Breathe. All right, let's release the twist. One more time, we'll do our cross-legged boat. So this time the right ankle is crossed over the left. Your hands can be behind your legs. They can be out to the side. You can do this without any hands. Inhale, lower down, stretch out through your legs. And exhale, sit up, knees in. Inhale, reach long. Try to pry those feet apart. Exhale. Two more like that. Inhale. And exhale. This time, hold it out. Uncross your legs, bend your knees, roll to your back, and bring your feet down onto the mat. Nice job. So, especially after doing boat poses, it's nice to open up the hip flexors. And it's always good and beneficial to get more front body openers and back body strengtheners. So we'll do a couple of rounds of bridge with the option to go into a full wheel. And I'll talk about that just a little bit. So feet are flat. Bring your arms by your side. Push down through the backs of your arms. Push down through your heels. And now begin to slowly lift your hips up. So you're moving the hips up really slow so that as you're coming up, you're thinking about stretching your tailbone towards your knees. And then shimmy your arms underneath you more. So you can keep your arms by your side or bent at the elbows, or clasp your hands together behind your back and breathe and keep pressing into the feet. Keep stretching the tailbone towards the knees. Make sure you're not over clenching your glutes or anything in your body. Back of the neck is long. Release your hands and just shimmy the arms out from underneath you now and lower your hips back down to the mat and just pause. Just pause. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, now pick up both feet at the same time and stack your knees over your hips. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, now do a little sit-up. So lift your head and your shoulder blades up. And bring your left hand and put it on your right thigh, and put your right hand on your left thigh. And begin to push your hands into your thighs And push your thighs back into your hands. And try to keep your spine in neutral. Keep your chin tucked. Breathe. And bring your feet back down to the mat. Big breath in, big breath out. And so we'll go into our second bridge. We're going to do 3. You have the option to go into a full wheel, which I'll sort of talk you through. You want to be really careful of your shoulders there. So go ahead and come back up into your bridge. So whether you're going into a full wheel or not, and just start in your bridge pose. And you can stay in your bridge. If you're going into a full wheel, make sure to bring your hands up. Yes, by your head, but take your hands actually away from your head towards the outer edges of your mat, and bring your elbows in more towards your head. So elbows in, hands out. Press your shoulders down into the mat. The shoulder blades, press them down into the mat. And then if you want to go from there, you can lift the hips up and maybe come up to the crown of the head and hang out there. Maybe readjust the hands. And then maybe you straighten the arms and come into a full wheel. Wherever you are, stay in your body, stay with your breath. Stay out of your head. You breathe into the front of your body. As you exhale, feel the support from the back of your body. And then slowly make your way down. And just pause. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, pick up your feet. One more time, we'll do an inhale, and as we exhale, we'll sit up and cross your hands again and push your hands into your legs and push your legs back into your hands. Breathe. And then lower down. So we have one more back bend. You certainly have the option here if you want to take a supported bridge. You can lift your hips and slide a block or a pillow or a bolster underneath you. But go ahead and make your way into a supported bridge or a full bridge or maybe a wheel. Maybe you practice lifting up a leg, one and then the other in your bridge pose or your wheel. Keep your breath slow and steady. Fill the lungs, empty the lungs. And then bring your arms out from underneath you and lower all the way down. Stretch your arms overhead, straighten your legs, and stretch your legs long. Stretch like you're in a mountain pose, so flex your feet and reach through your heels and stretch up through your arms. And then as you exhale, draw your right knee in towards your chest. Give it a squeeze. Bring your right leg into a half happy baby pose. So grab onto the outer edge of your right foot. Keep your left hip down. And now release the foot and take your leg all the way across your body for a spinal twist. So I like to tuck my foot behind my left knee or thigh, and you might scoot your left hip back a little bit so it's stacked directly on top of your right. Stretch out through your right arm. And release your twist. Roll onto your back again. This time, hug your left knee into your chest. Straighten out through your right leg. Half happy baby pose. Grab onto your foot. Press your right thigh down. And release your foot and bring your leg across your body for your spinal twist. Release your twist. And of course, if there's anything else that is calling to you right now to finish your practice, please do it. It might be an inversion or a full happy baby, but do start to make your way into Shavasana. So when you get there, extend your arms and your legs out. And before you completely relax, situate yourself so that your shoulders are kind of tucked in a little bit, just like we do in our bridge. So the chest stays open, palms facing the ceiling. You might tuck your chin just a little bit and just make sure that you're not popping your chin way up in the air. And stretch to the back of the neck and then relax. Relax every single muscle in your body. Relax your hips. Your shoulders. Relax your jaw. Relax your forehead. All the skin on the face. And as your mind wanders in your Shavasana, the only goal, I guess if there is one, is to just recognize that your mind has wandered away and just try to let it go. I'll often tell myself I have plenty of time to think about this, if it's even productive, after my practice. So really try to take this time to practice being still, not only in the body, but in the mind. And now begin to deepen your breath. Gently move your body, your fingers, and then your toes, your hands, and your feet. And you want to just gradually make the movement bigger to kind of bring you back, but also in a way that you're not going to shock the system and you're going to stay in that mindset of ease. Whenever you are ready, just bend your knees and roll to your side. And take a couple of breaths on your side. And you might keep your eyes closed. Keep your head down, so keep your neck relaxed as you push yourself up. And find your way to what is a comfortable seat for you. And just notice how you feel. Bring your hands together at your heart center. And bow your head in honor of yourself, in honor of your practice, and in honor of one another. Namaste. Yay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. How you feel? Was that hard? I can't help myself.
Totally out of practice.
Well, it's funny because now